Deciding to go alcohol-free is brave, but being the first in your social circle, that's next level courage. In this episode of the Pink Cloud Frequency podcast, we explore what it really means to step away from the drinking norm, even when everyone around you still is. Drawing on social psychology and Solomon Asch's classic conformity research, we dive into why humans are wired to follow the crowd and why breaking from the group can feel uncomfortable and even isolating. But the truth is that going first creates a ripple effect. By choosing clarity, energy, and purpose, you model a new way of living and give others permission to consider their own choices. Welcome to the 12th episode of the Pink Cloud Frequency. I am your host, Brianna Wynn, and thank you so much for joining me today. So what if you are the brave one? What if you are the cycle breaker? Now, I know that can feel daunting at first, especially if it's an unfamiliar feeling for you or it's new territory, but we all have to start somewhere. So why not start with ourselves? Because every movement starts with one person who's willing to go first. In a world that's obsessed with alcohol, that of course can feel a little bit uncomfortable. I know because I'm one of the only people in my social circle that doesn't drink. One of my best friends, she's been sober for almost 12 years, but she lives an hour and a half away. So we only see each other a handful of times per year, if that. So between my friends and my family, I am one of the only ones who has chosen a life without alcohol. So I know that it may feel lonely or uneasy at times. It may feel like you're the only one if, you haven't found your group yet. It may feel like you're not who you used to be. I used to be the person to show up with a bottle of tequila and, it's like, okay, now the party's here. Now the excitement's here. I felt like people depended on me for that. Now I'm the one who shows up with a cheese board. And of course, people love my cheese boards. I do too. But you know what I mean? It's different at first, right? You might feel that identity shift or the FOMO or the isolation. You're not the one showing up with the tequila anymore or the vodka. But those feelings that you feel, those uncomfortable feelings, those are short-lived. Because once you begin to experience an alcohol-free lifestyle, you'll only wish that you'd made the decision sooner. But I know how hard taking that leap is for some of you because you don't want to be different. You don't want to miss out. One of the reasons you drink in the first place is because you want to feel connected, right? Humans are wired to fit in. Humans fear social rejection more than they fear physical discomfort. And research on social conformity supports that. A social psychologist named Solomon Asch performed a series of experiments on conformity. So this was in the 1950s, but the results are still valid today. And his research explored how people often go along with a group, even if it goes against their own judgment. In the experiment, participants were shown a line segment on cards and asked to match it to one of three comparison lines. Mind you, the real answer was obvious. The length of the line was easily distinguishable. So each participant was placed in a group where other members of that group deliberately chose the wrong line, the wrong answer, which is the wrong length. So the members had already agreed in advance to choose the incorrect response. And then the one real participant of each group who didn't know that they had agreed to do that, that participant answered last or near the end. And the results of the experiment showed that about 75% of those participants conformed at least once to the group's wrong answer. In around 37% of responses overall were conforming, meaning people often gave answers they knew were wrong just to fit in. So people value social acceptance, sometimes even more than they value accuracy or their own personal beliefs. Fear of standing out or being judged can override one's own knowledge or preferences. And that conformity is strongest when the group is unanimous and there's social pressure to conform. So obviously, when you're drinking alcohol in a world of people who are drinking, where it's legal and it's societally acceptable, and then you choose to step outside of that and go alcohol free, you're disrupting that group norm. So being the first person in your family or your friend group to quit drinking can feel exactly like that experiment. You may feel some level of pressure because your friends are all still drinking, your family all still drinks. And it can trigger that social pushback from the people in your life, or it can trigger assumptions about why you made the choice to quit in a group of people that still drink. Maybe people may label you or tease you or bring up old memories or just show downright rude behavior, right? Because people just can't wrap their heads around the idea of not drinking. So many people are going to conform to this idea of drinking to fit in, even when they know their choice isn't right for them. So people will just drink to avoid awkwardness, to avoid being the only one left out, even when that doesn't reflect their personal values. Your decision to go alcohol free, that's a conscious choice, right? To prioritize your health, to prioritize your life, your family, your clarity, your energy, your purpose. You're choosing that above all of that social pressure. And by making that bold choice to go first, you're creating the possibility for others to follow. Over time, your friends and your family start to see that fun and connection and socializing don't require alcohol. So you start shifting the group norm. And when you're the first in your friend group or social circle to go alcohol free, you're doing something that's really powerful. And it may not feel like it in the moment because it can be daunting, but you're doing something courageous and bold. You're modeling a new way of living. People often follow examples more than rules, right? People are looking for the leaders to set the tone because the majority of people are complacent with following. They don't want to lead. They don't want to be the only one take that risk. And by choosing an alcohol-free life, you're showing your friends that life without alcohol is not only possible, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's fulfilling. It's self-care. And that modeling can spark that curiosity or that self-reflection in others. Wow, she's having fun without drinking. Look, she's dancing. She doesn't need alcohol. She's laughing. She doesn't have a drink in her hand. Maybe I can try that too. So you challenge the default norm, that default setting that alcohol's a given no matter what, no matter where, no matter when, no matter the celebration. It's an unspoken rule, but by opting out, you're breaking out of that automatic assumption about what's normal. That's no longer the default setting for you. So this is the start of something new. No one has to assume that drinking equals fun or connection. This is the start of shifting those perceptions in that group culture. You're giving other people permission because humans unconsciously watch for social cues before making big decisions and taking action. So when you go first, you're telling other people that it's safe to make the same choice. And this is especially true for women who may feel judged for refusing to drink because somewhere along the lines, it's just become, this idea that it's somehow sexy or attractive for women to be drinking. So by you not doing so, that lets them know, like, you're still beautiful and attractive and sexy without a drink in your hand. It's okay to prioritize yourself and still belong. You can still feel valued in this social setting. It's okay to skip the espresso martini at dinner and still connect with everyone else and go to your fitness class in the morning. And what happens is those small shifts, they lead to bigger ripple effects. And over time, when others see you happy and confident and thriving without alcohol, you normalize that in your circle. Now, others may begin experimenting with cutting back or going alcohol free, not because they were told to, but because they saw someone they trust who is thriving and they've actually thought about it before too. So now they have the option to try the same thing. My mom doesn't drink and my aunt doesn't drink. My father does. I come from a big family of drinkers, right? And my brother and I are close and he drinks. And I never preach about why he shouldn't. I don't preach to anyone because that's not the right approach. I don't agree with it. But I do share what my alcohol-free life feels like now and how it's benefited me. And I think people listen simply for the fact that I drank for almost 25 years. And I was the person who I never thought I'd drink. And I'm guessing everyone around me, they never thought I would quit drinking either. So now I'm the one who I just have this like complete shift in perception and how I feel and how amazing it is. And so I love sharing that with other people. But no one thought I would go first. So anyway, one of the last conversations that I had with my brother when he was hungover and feeling like crap, I was sharing my experience with him. And he's not saying back to me like, oh yeah, that's bullshit. Like alcohol's so awesome, right? No, of course he's not saying that because nobody actually believes that. What he's saying is, wow, I wish I could get to that point. Because deep down, most people who drink on any type of a regular basis, they know it doesn't serve them. And in the ways in which it does actually serve them, like this illusion of connection or, feeling like it temporarily calms you or helps relieve that stress, the negativity of drinking, those effects far outweigh any benefit that you actually get from the alcohol. And when you realize you can do everything that you're actually intending to do without alcohol, you realize you don't need it. But I know it takes, it's a process to get to that point, to actually be able to comprehend that and see that clearly. That's a process. I know that. And everybody goes at their own pace. So I'm not here to convince anyone to quit drinking or quit doing drugs or whatever it is you do. I'm simply letting you know from my perspective why an alcohol-free life is abundantly better for you and for your kids and for your future self. It's like we're not 20 years old anymore and drinking for fun isn't the cool thing to do. And so you get to redefine those social norms. What's fun? Because fun isn't feeling the need to numb out or get high on a toxin. It's not laughing at things that aren't funny. It's not repeating yourself over and over again. It's not asking the same questions because you lost your attention span. It's not losing your train of thought midway through a conversation. It's not feeling like half a version of yourself the next day. Having fun, actual fun, it's doing the activities you enjoy, right? And it's also who you're with. The things that make you smile, the actual connection, the laughing, the ability to participate fully and engage in conversations. Tell stories, play games, be able to listen, to connect. It's about the true meaning and authenticity in that experience. That's what's actually pleasurable. So over time, what happens is when you keep showing up as a person who's not drinking at these events, outside, inside, at dinner, wherever you show up with your cheese board, you are showing people that you're still fun. You still have that energy. You're still happy and excited and you actually aren't engaged. And now when people look at you, that's what they expect. They stop associating you with a bottle of tequila or wine. But they do still expect that good energy, those entertaining stories, someone who can listen and engage without tripping over their words. So eventually, it's not a big deal. And now it's so crazy because I notice when I go out, I don't take any mind altering substances. So I will say the word sober. I hate that word, but I am. I don't smoke weed. I don't do edibles or gummies, no prescriptions, nothing like that, no alcohol. So I genuinely feel high on life. And I feel energized and I feel giddy. And it's a new sensation because I've spent more of my life drinking than I haven't. And so if you know what that feels like, you know what I'm talking about. It's a different feeling, but that's the feeling that we're actually always chasing. So if you've already quit drinking, then you probably know what it is I'm talking about. And what happens is we're chasing that feeling, we're looking for it in the bottle, but then when we drink, we're being affected by the substance, by the drink. And we're not feeling our actual true internal feelings. So we start to think that the fun is because of the bottle, what's inside the bottle, when we don't know if we just remove that, every single fucking thing we're looking for is on the other end, on the other side, outside of the bottle. So I say all that to say it's possible. Imagine being the first alcohol-free person at your Friday night out. Maybe it's bingo or karaoke, or maybe it's just dinner with your friends. At first, it might feel like everyone's watching or judging or expecting something from you, something different from you. But over time, your friends, your family, they're going to start to notice your energy and your focus and your joy. And they're going to tell you, like, wow, you seem so much better and more positive, and you're just so much more energized all the time. And suddenly, you are the person that everyone looks to for that social proof that you don't need to have alcohol to have a good time. And that's how the ripple effect of going first starts. You become a catalyst for the long-term social shifts and cultural change. Because your one brave choice to go alcohol-free, it ripples into so many others. You're the spark. You're challenging those assumptions. You're inspiring the curiosity in others. And eventually you're going to shift that group norm from everyone drinks to actually, no, everyone doesn't. It's okay not to drink. It's okay to choose what's best for you, whatever that looks like. And the real truth is that many women are silently evaluating their relationship with alcohol also. But they're scared of being judged, being labeled, losing friends or failing at trying or losing that crutch, right? They're scared of being a mother and having all these responsibilities and things to remember, places to be, parent-teacher conferences, college campus visits and applications, and just all this coordinating on a daily basis. All the while, they're the ones being relied on for emotional support. The moms are the glue that holds everyone and everything else together. So that's sometimes the only outlet that moms feel they have is that glass of wine, right? Not all the time, but a lot of the time, it's just counting down for that release so that you don't feel that eruption of all the daily stressors and pressure. So I know what that feels like. And it's not just women. Many people privately question their drinking, but they assume everyone else is fine. So no one else speaks up. I remember one time talking to a couple of women and being really hungover. And I was talking to them about, you know, how it feels when you're so sick and you're going to the bathroom and you're throwing up at the same time, which is obviously really gross. And they're nodding their heads with such vigorous agreement, eyes wide, with no resistance at all to what I'm saying. They knew exactly what I was describing. And that's almost scary because that's what becomes normalized. Feeling awful. So when you go out for a night of drinks and then you don't feel that way, when you can get out of your bed and function, you start to normalize that as feeling good. The absence of throwing up and going to the bathroom at the same time, that's what you've trained your body and your mind to believe is feeling good. You drank a bottle of Tuor wine and you're going about your day. You have mental fog. You have anxiety. Every single thing that you do feels like it requires so much effort. But you're good, right? Because you're not hungover laying in bed. You're not on the toilet and also throwing up. You feel like $1,000,000, right? That's what you tell yourself. And then you laugh with your girlfriends about how fun last night was. Like, that's not good. And other people feel the same way, but no one is sharing that openly. So they continue to conform publicly to the group drinking norms, even though they quietly disagree. That's called pluralistic ignorance. You know that the feeling you're left with no longer aligns with you or your future. You know the habit of drinking, it's not a vibe anymore. But you go out in public and you do it anyway. So chances are you're not the only one thinking about quitting alcohol. You may just be the first one who's willing to say it out loud. People aren't drinking because they want to necessarily, right? Aside from wanting to sort of tap out or have some sort of stress relief, people are drinking because they want to belong. It's like a bonding ritual to drink alcohol or go tailgate in the parking lot before a game, right? That just goes with the territory. It's par for the course. So when you step outside of that, it can feel like you're threatening those group norms. You're disrupting the normal, the social influence. You're challenging that narrative. You're confronting that status quo. But what happens is your visibility, your alcohol-free lifestyle, it reduces other people's fear. You become social proof. People see you doing more with yourself, with your life, that you feel more aligned now that you left alcohol alone. You become a possibility, right? your alcohol-free life, it becomes evidence that it's possible to step outside those social norms and deal with the pushback. You are now the permission. Now people see you. If you can do it, they can do it too. Now you're helping other people feel safe with that consideration. When people see you living successfully, it lowers their perceived risk. Now they're not looking at giving up alcohol as, something that's risky or threatening. So the point here isn't to convince other people to change. No, your choice to be alcohol free has to come from within. Yours does, mine does, and theirs does too. Any sustainable change in life is intrinsically motivated. It can't be externally motivated. If you're doing this for someone else's approval or because of pressure to change, you're probably not going to get very far. The point is to stay rooted in your garden, stay planted in your garden, and help other people plant their own seeds, right? Show them what's possible. And when you have that pride and confidence in your own journey, others take note. Look at a person who is suffering through dry January, or someone who's sober but every day complaining of white knuckling. And then look at someone who's excited about their journey, who takes pride, who makes changes not just to remove alcohol, but to become a more evolved person all around. Look at the difference in that pride, in that confidence. In every area of life where you want to change, that's about your mindset, right? That's the confidence that you have when you approach that change. I mean, look at the fashion world. Look at the trends going on today. How does that spread? Is what they're wearing cute? Or is it how it's being modeled? The allure, the confidence. That's what gets people to buy something, right? And no, I'm not saying, I'm selling sobriety or that you are either. No, not at all. I'm simply saying that confidence spreads. It's contagious. And so isn't calm and clarity and pride. And when you embody these traits without alcohol, others feel that too. So know that you probably have onlookers because other people are, in fact, curious about their own relationship with alcohol. And when you can empower someone else, it helps you understand and, become more grounded in your own position. It helps you build on that strong foundation and, helps form that new identity, right? And now you can anticipate that social pressure. And you understand why it's hard for others to go against the group norms. So now you can better help them help themselves, right? And in the process, stay committed to your own alcohol-free journey. This is just who you are now. This is who I am now. And it's probably who someone else wants to be. So I encourage you, don't whisper about your growth. Don't shrink yourself. Don't apologize for your evolution. Be confident in those social settings. If somebody asks you why you aren't drinking, own that decision. And I'm not saying that requires you to be rude or anything. No, just be confident. Your life is better without it. That's simple. It's amazing without it. And if other people gave themselves the chance and the opportunity, they would feel the same way, most likely. And so it's like you you own this choice because it's just such a good decision. You give up one thing, one substance, one toxic substance, one class 1 carcinogen, and you gain everything. Every single aspect of your life improves. And it's the best feeling. And my only wish is, I wish I'd done it sooner. How didn't I see it sooner? Why was I so, attached to the alcohol? I know why. We just talked about it this whole conversation. But it's like, it's just so fun to come away with that, to walk away from that and just have that new, refreshing perspective. And so I don't judge other people. I'm not here to judge other people. Like I said, I've drank for almost 25 years. I'm not here to judge anyone because we all, we're more alike than we are different. Sure, there's nuances to our stories, of course, but we really are all more alike. And so people are allowed to experience life on their own terms. I just want people to know it's okay to change. It's okay to disrupt social and cultural norms. It's okay to grow. It's okay to expand. It's okay to evolve, right? You're expanding what's possible for your life. You're modeling, for your children. You're being a leader in a world of followers. So if you're the first one in your circle to choose an alcohol-free life, it's for a reason. It's not an accident. You are paving the way. You're a leader, and guess what? Leaders do feel discomfort from time to time. But going first, being that brave person, someone in your life has been waiting for you. I promise you that. Someone in your life has been waiting for you to shine and to expand, and someone else has been waiting for that permission because they want the exact same thing. So for your reflection today, ask yourself, who might you be influencing by going first? Or if you've already made that decision, how has it benefited you or your family or your kids or your friends by going first? Really think about that. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel and also consider leaving a 5-star written review if this episode resonated with you. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day. I will talk to you soon.